Science Consciousness Explained.
Humans have a remarkable capacity for empathy. From a young age, we naturally bond with animals. We give them names, we talk to them, and we intuitively recognize that they can feel joy, fear, and pain, just like we do. But a few hours after gently feeding a chicken or playing with a family dog, many of us will quickly sit down to a lunch of chicken nuggets or a cheeseburger without a second thought. Psychologists call this conflict the meat paradox. It is the psychological friction that happens when we hold a deep affection for animals while simultaneously participating in a system that consumes them, which forces us to ask a rather uncomfortable question. Are we actually born with this contradiction, or is the line between a friend and food something we have to be taught? To find out, we can look at research from Exeter University. This chart illustrates a study comparing how children ages 9 to 11 and adults view animals. It measures two things: whether they see a moral hierarchy between humans and animals, and whether they categorize farm animals as food. The data reveals something fascinating. The children in the study were significantly less likely than the adults to see a strict moral hierarchy, and they largely did not categorize farm animals as something to be eaten. In fact, the younger respondents believed that farm animals, like pigs, genuinely deserved much better treatment than the adult respondents thought they did. For these researchers, the results suggest that the justifications we use to eat animals aren't an innate part of human development. Instead, they appear to be social scripts we adopt as we move toward adulthood. So if the divide between a pet and a piece of livestock is not an innate human trait, it has to be a cultural script. The question then becomes, exactly how does society install this invisible programming? The very first tool society uses to create emotional distance between us and the animals we eat is language. In 1066, the Norman Conquest of England triggered a class divide that split the vocabulary. Lower-class Anglo-Saxon farmers did the grueling work of raising livestock. Dealing with living creatures, they kept Old English words like cow, sheep, and pig. But the wealthy, French-speaking Norman elites only interacted with these animals when they arrived fully cooked on a banquet table. They introduced their own culinary words for the dishes, like buff for cow and pork for pig. Over time, this created what theorist Carol J. Adams calls the absent referent. This is a mechanism where the word for the meat completely replaces and erases the living animal it came from. These separate vocabularies acted as a psychological shield. By calling it beef instead of cow or pork instead of pig, elites effectively removed the living creature from the concept of a dinner plate. As we grow up, society quietly builds on this linguistic distance, installing a dominant and mostly unchallenged belief system regarding meat consumption. We justify our diets through the 4 N's, learning that eating meat is natural, normal, necessary, and nice. This ingrained framework categorizes species like dogs as family, while classifying cows and pigs strictly as property. But because we still possess that childhood empathy, this categorization eventually triggers cognitive dissonance, the mental discomfort that happens when our underlying values inevitably clash with our actions. We care about animals, yet we eat them. To resolve this discomfort, the brain engages in psychic numbing. Studies show that the moment a person categorizes an animal as food, they subconsciously deny its intelligence and its capacity to suffer. By subconsciously lowering the moral standing of a food animal, we protect our own peace of mind. We construct a mental workaround to participate in a system that directly contradicts our childhood instincts. Today, this psychological distance is amplified by industrial systems that intentionally push the reality of meat production entirely out of the consumer's sight. By the time these products reach the modern retail environment, they are highly processed, neatly portioned, and shrink-wrapped. The presentation is completely sanitized to remove any lingering reminder of the animal's origin. Social psychologist Melanie Joy coined the term Carnism to define this exact phenomenon. Carnism is the invisible, overarching ideology that conditions people to support animal slaughter without ever actually questioning it. And Carnism is highly subjective. A species treated as a pampered pet in one part of the world is often considered a staple food in another, while a sacred, protected animal in one country might be mass-produced for burgers somewhere else. The rules dictating which animals we eat are not biological imperatives. They are arbitrary, inherited cultural scripts that change depending on where you happen to be born. This scene illustrates how deeply these habits are woven into our upbringing, passing from one generation to the next as a quiet social inheritance. Once we recognize the linguistic tricks and psychological distance we've been taught, we gain the ability to step back and examine our automatic behaviors. This awareness strips away the psychic numbing. It shifts our dietary habits from an unquestioned cultural reflex into a conscious, critical choice. Now that the invisible system shaping your plate is visible, how will it change the way you look at your next meal?